Like you would say your piece, and don't be so quick to transition. You know what I'm saying? Just say your piece and then sit in it for a few seconds. And then you transition into it so that when you chop it to bring it in a little bit closer, it's like you're not just like constantly like running around. You could like finish your thought out. And shout out to my people who was checking on me, telling me because sometimes I'm thinking about getting to the commercial because I want to end the thought. But I'm thinking about that while I'm also expressing the thought. So that means that I'm not allowing myself to think all the way through. And that will be an issue if I didn't correct it. So I'm gonna make sure that I do that. And everybody who's throwing your feedbacks, telling me how to navigate, giving me some pointers, telling me congratulations, bigging me up, telling me to big up myself. You done know doing this, doing that. Keep on going, keep on striving. It's appreciated, it's well received, and check it out. You know what I mean? Run the episode, play this background sound. You don't necessarily have to sit down and watch it. Sometimes you just have to just listen to other people talk about figuring it out while you're figuring out whatever it is. Because this is great background sound, believe it or not. This is great background sound. You don't even have to see me to be able to do what you have to do and just have something in the background that's filling the air with all the things that you know you want to get done. That's what life's about sometimes, man. Just going with it. And this is what I'm fine tuning. I'm making sense of it here and there and being able to navigate and get it done. That's what it's all about. All right, y'all, we here on the set. And I ask you guys this. Think of your favorite group, your favorite music group, your favorite group in anything, your favorite wrestler, anything. Think about that. And I ask you, who's the favorite in that group? And then I ask you, did those favorites change in time? And then I ask you, is it because you're now older? We're going to discuss that because we're going to discuss positions of power. And I believe that in order to be an amazing group, in order to be a great group or be a favorite of anyone, every single member has a position to play. And if one position isn't working out, is that really a favorite? We're going to discuss it. We're on the set. Irv. I grew up on Wu-Tang Clan, Bone Thugs and Harmony. There ain't nothing else. You could say Onyx, you could say Cash Money Click, you could say Lost Boys, you could say Run DMC. Run DMC is the first group. My Uncle Rob, and shout out to Uncle Rob, had me in the studio on my maybe 9th, 10th birthday in the studio. Run DMC was telling me happy birthday. And I always hold that story near and dear because it was a very, very pivotal moment for me when I knew that I was in a room with greatness. And all their energies were different. So you got, Jay who's in the corner, you know what I'm saying? You got D sitting down, you got Run moving around, you got D over there, you know what I'm saying? It's like we on, I believe, 202 in Hollis at that time. Shout out to 209th and Hollis. So just shout out to Hollis regardless. Hollis fam. And That was very, very pivotal for me because I was in a studio. I was listening to music. I was just watching the OGs and how everybody embraced. My uncle was with these open arms, as in everyone loved him. Everyone loved Uncle Rob. Everybody knew who Rob was. And I said that to say that as I got older, I went from Who's House, Run's House, and then I went to DMC, and then I went to Jay. When I went to Bone Thugs, I just loved all of the different energies, but it was impossible for me to not or to dislike any one of them because all of them were dope and all of them had their own style. Same thing with Wu-Tang. Same thing with the Fugees. Same thing with the Lost Boys. There was always something about each one of these artists that has something phenomenal about them. And as you get older, you realize that everybody have a different position to play. Same thing with New Edition. It's all these amazing people. All of them have a different position to play. And I believe that we're maybe in groups where, while some groups will separate, Fat Boys, you get people that would separate because sometimes people don't know their position. And that could be a conversation that goes for you guys as well. Because in your friendships, you don't know your position. You don't know what role you are really put there to play. And you don't realize that sometimes in every project is where you play a different role. One of my favorite actors in the whole entire world is Adam Sandler, because when you think about, I believe it's the Happy Madison crew, you think about these significant faces that constantly pop up when you see that name, that brand. Maybe one role you're playing a mailman, maybe next role you're playing this role, maybe one role next movie you're playing that role. But you have to keep on switching up and playing different roles and implementing yourself in different scripts and different levels and different ways of success. If you're not implementing yourself in new things over and over and over and over, or at least trying, what are you really contributing to the culture? What are you giving back to your ancestors? What are you giving back to those that came before you? What are you giving back to those that guided you, that gave you some type of verbal intellectual property, that told you something that was great about yourself? What did you do? How did you plant that? How did you plant it? How did you water it? How did you nurture it? How much sunlight did you put onto it? How much did you continue to breathe into it? Make sure that the roots were actually solid. You'd be surprised how in all of our groups, all of our friendships, all of our associations, the reason why a lot of things don't work out is because they just don't know their position. And it's the same thing like when I talk with any set, or I come on any set, I always look around to see what everybody's position is, how they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? If they need assistance with it. If not, just asking the key questions so you know that when the cameras are in the sky and that's the aerial imagery's job, you're not walking around on the f***ing set. We gotta learn to stay off of certain sets. Even though we're part of certain projects, we have to learn how to stay off of certain sets. And when certain things are happening, we have to know when to speak and when not to speak. Knowing when to speak and knowing when not to speak doesn't make you a weak person. If anything, it shows that you are obedient to the process. And that's something that's definitely worth talking about, because there's nowhere in the world that you're going to give credit to one area and not credit to the other, because everybody plays a very pivotal role. Believe it or not. And even though you may want your role to change for this project, beloved, that is not your position. We're going to talk about that as well a little bit deeper. In the meantime, put in a comment your favorite groups. I'm talking about all the way back to the 70s, baby. I was just bumping the Delphonics to Tanya the other night. Just bumping that good old Delphonics. Somebody loves you, girl. See, I love music and creators, and I want you to have a studio, but I don't want the studio to have you. And that's why you need to get in contact with Some Law Entertainment to make sure that you do this right the first time. These guys are officially unapologetic. They help you get on the smartest studio budget plan because they're committed to doing what's right for the sole purpose of that project. That means that they're constantly checking in daily to make sure that you are doing what you said you want to get done. They'll show you equipment that's beneficial to what you need to get done. Sometimes we struggle with what we want versus what we need, and that's now going to be a thing of the past going forward. In a nutshell, these guys actually care. That's why we call them Governor Trusted. Those thoughts you have in the back of your head, let's finally get them out to the world. And the good folks at Some Law Entertainment is here to help. So, photo shoots, headshots, aerial imagery, video, as well as music production. Do not wait any longer. Please, give them guys a call. And congratulations. You're one step closer to the rest of the world being able to see what you're thinking. I'll see you in the studio. Peace. There's way more names I need to be at the bottom of this right now. Way more names that need to be at the bottom of this. I mean, I'm talking about Escape. I'm talking about 112. I mean, do not let me start talking about groups, because we all had, and think about it. Even if there are members of a group that you maybe didn't understand or you just didn't with, because sometimes it's about really playing a real role. And what does it actually mean? Being able to make sure that the group could move forward. People don't understand how important that is. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. People don't understand how important it is to be able to push other people to another level and being able to be respected enough to even also not to be with in the process. Believe that. Because there's certain things that come along with this business. There's certain things that come along with this process. And there are too many groups out there that are so dope that I know you love. Because when I say certain group members, when I say certain groups, you can think about certain members and their names and what they did and how they went about it and why they are maybe your favorite. And there's nothing wrong with having favorites. I think we all got favorites. The thing is, with me, is the same thing with like my friends. We all got different positions to play. So for this situation, I'm reaching out to my favorite for this situation. And it's very, very rare that you have a favorite that covers like everything. I'm talking about parent loss, in relationships, out of relationships, as a parent, you know what I'm saying? Even as an uncle, excuse me, everything. A person who plays a role and you can communicate about every single aspect of your life. That's damn near impossible. So, to those that exist out there like that, I salute you and I pray for you, because I know, Lord, I know it's not easy. Shout out to my squad. You know what I'm saying, man? It's real. Because you'll be surprised, you know what I'm saying, when you have a lot of people who reach out, who seek advice, who needs some type of verbal encouragement, need to be reminded of how dope they are, you know what I mean, need to be able to be told, you know what I mean, to be you to the fullest, hold yourself down, be you, only be you, baby, only be you. You know what I'm saying? Be how you feel. And mean it. Say it. Know you deserve it. And when you think about, you know, your crews, your fam, think about situations. Sometimes, you know, groups and crews break up or separate, or you get like distance because it be a lack of communication. Sometimes you have certain members of your crew who don't know how to be all the way clear. You got certain members of your crew who gonna be thorough, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna be up in your face. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a little bit of everything if you got the right crew. Make me think about Bone, make me think about Wu-Tang, make me think about New Edition, make me think about, you know, Jagged Edge. You got me think about artists and groups, you know, of that magnitude. Think about Onyx. Like groups I was around. Like I seen these guys grow up. I seen them grow up. I seen them become fathers and grandfathers. I seen Snoop, E40, Ice Cubes, Ice T's. I seen these guys grow up. I seen LeBron James grow up. These are real life conversations, and these are things that while people are growing up and you're growing up, your position of power may change as you evolve. I know as I evolved, I know my position of power changed a lot. I was sometimes reckless enough where sometimes I had certain people that I was following up and following a certain protocol. But, you know, being able to guide people and pray with people and pray for people and not necessarily be connected with them like publicly, but also being able to show them the love that they really deserve. And that's what people really, really need to recognize. Because some of these silent members and groups are the ones that keep groups afloat. Sometimes we're looking for the energy and all this, and we need to be locked in with those that's probably the manpower. You gotta think about that, because you have to ask yourself, in your crew, in your conglomerate, what's your position? And if you're comfortable enough, put it in the chat. Yo, I'm the VP of this. I'm the CEO. I'm the Chief Executive Officer. I'm the Chief Financial Officer. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. What are you? It's okay. You know, either position is such. Man, if you tell me if I was a part of come on. All these things that we say we want to do, how we want to give to people, how we want to take things to the next level. What does that actually mean? How are you able to do these things without losing your integrity? How are you able to do these things without falling short to whatever the narrative is? Whatever the narrative is. Because it's going to be what it's going to be, right? The narrative is going to be whatever it's going to be. Think about your favorite groups. Think about the members. Think about their contribution, because their contribution is real. The contribution is a big, big deal. There's nothing that you can tell me that's going to make me not lose sight of my position being a part of this project. That's a good one. If I told you guys, right? If I told you, I need you this way for this project. I need you this way for this project. That means don't do anything else unless authorized pertaining to this project. When the cameras are in the sky, everyone's out the way besides those that's supposed to be in the project. We can't do more and thinking that, and sometimes some people they fall short with it because they think that, hey, if I'm doing more that they're gonna see that I'm contributing more. No, it doesn't work that way. When I need you here to hold the light, unless authorized to do something else, just hold the light. When everything works out and they say, yo, you was a part of that project? Yes, sir. Word, was it amazing? Yes, sir. Oh my God, you did something big? Yes, sir. What did you do? I held the light. You held the light? That's all you did? That's all I did. That's all I was authorized to do. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what makes a great group is everybody knowing their position of power. And if you look amongst your friends in your group, in your conglomerate, and you ask yourself, am I doing my position? Am I playing my position properly? Am I doing all the necessary things to make sure that this situation prospers to its greatest potential? You sit back and you ask yourself, if you're actually doing it, then nobody can say anything about it. But you'll be surprised how many of us out there are lying to ourselves, saying that we feel this way and saying that we're going that way and saying that we believe this and saying that we believe that, and we don't believe a word that we're actually saying internally. And that's where we're struggling, because I'm digging very, very deep to make sense of what's going on with self. But people, you got to dig very, very deep in order to know what you want to get done. You have to know no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save you. Think about your crew. Think about your squad. Does your squad have goals? You guys have things planned out? Things you maybe want to get established, get organized, get in check, fine-tune? See, also, that's why a lot of groups break up, because you guys get together on one thing and then you guys don't elaborate on what life really has to offer. Giving yourself the real fruits of your labor. You guys f around and get set up and everything else. And then the nerve. Like, come on. You guys don't allow each other to see each other grow into better people. And I think that's the struggle right there. Not being able to see your people grow into better people. If you are not aiming to see your people grow into better people, then what are you actually doing? I have this thought process where I'm trying to see all my friends pull up in G63 AMG wagons. I got this vision for myself that my squad are all pulling up in German engineering. Sometimes we're not thinking about each other. And that's where a lot of people fall short, because sometimes in a group, sometimes one's gonna have to hold everybody down. It's not easy. Sometimes. one have to hold everybody down. So if you are the one as a part of your conglomerate for right now, for this season, maybe it's just for this season, but make sure you hold the group down. Make sure you hold your crew down. Understand that for this season, this is your position of power. Your position of power may only be for this season at this moment. Your position of power may pop up once every few years. But whatever it is, whatever your position is for every and any project. Hey, Sumla, I don't need your aerial imagery this project. We're gonna go with someone else. Okay. Because maybe they're seeking something else that they may want to work into. See, when you love and you respect people, you're gonna learn to appreciate who they are. And that's very, very important, because what you want is to be around people that want to see you grow. You would hope that everybody that you're around really want to see you grow, Governor. You'd be surprised how many people don't really want to see you prosper if they're not involved. If they're not involved, they don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you prosper. You. You're not important. You ain't that important. Sure. You'd be surprised. So I'm telling you guys, if this is your position of power for this episode, for this moment, you hold it down and you do your part, because when everything else falls into place and everybody stop and look around, they're going to look at you and they're going to remember everything you did to see if you did what was necessary for this ship to sail or for it to sink. We're on the set. I'm Irv, and we're talking about a lot of things. But one thing we're not talking about is because it costs too much. And I just can't afford it. If you're looking for ways to update your electronic press kit without blowing the budget, finally figured it out for you guys. For years, we've been figuring it out here at Some Law Entertainment. You know, as a music artist, I get that we all have humble beginnings and all start from somewhere that made us passionate about expressing what's inside. Some Law Company makes it simple to get those necessary industry standard headshots, aerial images, as well as candid moments from a space that doesn't require you to be anyone but yourself. With Some Law, there's no need to continue putting on parts of your creativity that could change your life and others for an eternity. We all need different perspectives to each project to see if it moves at full capacity. So why not get started now and see where it takes you? Look, we're in the end of 2023, and even those headshots from COVID begin to be a thing of the past. Reach out to us. Quite sure there's something that we can always work out. What's the worst that can happen? Is that something's going to happen. I'll see you in the studio. I'm in a position of power. You around if you wanna. See, the beautiful thing about life is being in a position of power where I honestly, I thank the higher powers. I thank the higher powers a lot. because to be able to be in a position of power where when you're doing great, magnificent things and you have manpower. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I discuss manpower because manpower is very, very important. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, manpower is very, very, very important in this industry. And having positions of power, being respected, being connected, being affiliated, being associated, being abducted into different groups and conglomerates and different lodges and different chapters and different degrees in my life, to know that if I really had a negative issue, problem solved. And the beautiful thing about that is, I swear I thank the higher powers. Because of what I give to the universe, I never have to use my manpower in a negative manner because I know that I can solve problems. And saying that and being mindful of how powerful that is changes the conversation for everything. See, a lot of you guys don't realize that I always admired members of groups that maybe didn't drop solo projects, like the Wishbones of the world, some of my favorite artists. Because if you spend more time concentrating on your own than playing hit in mine, you might make some. Yo, let me tell you something. One of the realest lines ever said in music, the art of war. Whew. Wishbone. Listen, there are positions of power you have to play in crews, in groups, in associations and affiliations or whatever it is for just that project. The goal is to get the project done. Get the project done. That's all that matter, all right? That's all that matter now. Getting the project done. Getting it to the finish line. That's what life's about now. Getting the project to the finish line. Whatever the case may be. And those have also been fine-tuning me saying, yo, Governor, you've been bouncing all over the place. Yes, you want to know why? Because these solo sessions are the freestyle sessions. These are the things that are coming out of the brain, right through the microphone, right to your face of what's going on. Because you may not even be watching, you may just be listening. So these vocals are reminding you to get done. Get your life in order. Fine-tune, reset, do what you need to. Start to exude certain energy as well to have you seen in a light that begins to glow also. And to those that are still watching, thank you. Because the reality is, as I tell you all, this game is filled to the brim with a bunch of unrealistic who think they is going to age like wine and believing that music as a music artist or just doing one thing is going to be enough, and it's not going to be enough. Enough is not going to be enough. You have to, in New York, do more than 3 things consecutively, non-stop, on the go, because believe it or not, this is it. I got so many friends that want to leave New York now, including myself, because it's expensive. It's expensive. Getting the hell out the city it will actually do me some wonders, believe it or not. And see, again with positions of power, you know, having a daughter that live in Queens, having a daughter that live in New York. But you know what? Now she's at an age where now it's like, hey kiddo, get her to the jet. Jet, once you land, I'm right at the gate. She's at that age now where I'm comfortable with saying, hey, New York, arrivederci. Because London will be landing in Italy eventually. Because I speak these things because this is where I'm at with life. This is where I'm at, and this is what I have to figure out. So understanding the language and being locked in more with the people, and that's what's calling me, so that's where I'm going. Understanding your position, guys, is very, very important. A lot of you guys may not realize your position yet. And maybe you guys are realizing your position now. And it may not be a very, very big position. You may not be the main character. And it's impossible to be the main character in every visual, every chapter, every episode, every situation, every trauma, every drama, every hiccup, every argument, every topic. It's impossible. In some roles, you have to be 1%. In some roles, you're 99%. The conversation is how you show up, and can you still be 100% in your 1%? That's the conversation, and ask yourself, can you be 100% in your 10%? Can you be 100% and only give it 18%? If your job is only to give 1% of this problem, can you still give 100% of your 1%? And that's the conversation. A lot of people sit back and think about it and say, I can be. And say it with me. Yes, you can. You can be 100% in your 1%. Because you'll be surprised how 99% to get you right there, and that 1% right over. We're talking about it. And the reason why we're talking about it is because we can and we will. Why? Because these vocals, this voice is now pushing you to do what you got to do. If you're like most creators, then being original is your most valuable asset. And when you're ready to make huge improvements, it can feel as if everything costs too much or it takes too long. But something as simple as updated headshots from some law can separate you from what everyone else is still doing. Those you have industry standings with recommend some law for years, so you know the job's going to get done successfully and at a low cost. Especially when those extra dollars got to go to something else in the budget, like lighting, aerial shots, photo shoots, everything else that's studio requirements. Hit us up. Free consultation. Ask your questions. Maybe we can assist with what makes sense. Once you're able to think about the finances, the process of the project goes so much more smooth. Look, we're at the end of 2023. So for your photo shoots, headshots, aerial imagery, video, as well as musical production, don't wait any longer. Come see why we're one of the best recommended on the East Coast. Protect what's worth protecting. And I'll see you guys in the studio. Peace. Guys, they're gonna... Here we go. Alright, so we're back on the set. Live on set with Irv. You know who I am, and you know what I'm gonna ask for you guys to do if you can. Like, share, subscribe. I need to get them watch hours up. I'm on this mission to figure out what it is, as you're on a mission to figure out what it is. So while you'll be here, and I'll be here, and we'll be here, we're figuring it out. And then you're putting in the comment as well what you're figuring it out. What you're figuring out, because I'm quite sure there's somebody that's watching this as well that may be able to assist you in what you're figuring out. And this is, as I tell you guys, an each one teach one layout. This is a platform where hopefully I'm able to sit back and say, hey, them guys met through my chat. And yo, them guys is actually making some things work. I love that. And that's what I do, man, is in push and encourage, man. You know, each one teach one. So we're here on the set, and as you guys realize, like, share, subscribe. Please follow suit. Use this as background sound so I get the hours and the time up. I'm figuring it out. And you're figuring it out. And we're gonna get into with the guests, we're getting into the strategies. We're getting into how they're executing it. And we're getting into who their teamwork is. And also we're gonna get into what's their position in their crew. And then with their crew, what is their position? And how are they implementing it? And is it effective enough? Is it highly effective? Because you'll be surprised. A lot of these situations aren't highly effective because there's maybe one or two things that may be out of sync or maybe not even done. Maybe part 3 is mixed up with part 5 and maybe need to be switched off so that this works a little bit more smoother. You'll be surprised that you may have all the puzzle pieces, but you just don't have them all the way aligned or they're not all the way cut properly for them to bring the picture to life. And once you understand that, you'll realize that in all crews, in every song, in every project, in every group, in every situation, there are different situations, there are different projects, there are different things happening. And your position is going to change. But as it changes, make sure that you don't lose your integrity in the process. And when it's all said and done, any way the cards roll, you should still be able to stand and be standing there comfortable with your head up and standing on top. We're on the set. We're live on set. And we're discussing strategies, execution, and teamwork. Shout out your people down there. Everybody who's watching, I salute you guys. I know you guys are discussing some amazing things. I hear some of you guys doing some things. And I didn't discuss too much about the EPKs. Get your electronic press kits done. I want to see what you guys have to offer. You know, you guys think that showing a little bit of here and a little bit of there is going to make it everywhere. It's not. And I'm happy. Hope you're happy too.